Hey, I'm Steven, and I'm here to teach you all about the iris. All right, before we go to the camera, I'd like to talk a little about the iris. The iris is basically how much light you're letting into the camera. This is where you control the iris, and then these little numbers it's called the f-stop. And the F stands for factor, and it's a ratio, but we don't need to go into that. And basically, the bigger the number of the f-stop on the camera, the larger the number, the smaller the opening is going to be. So, and it's kind of opposite. So the smaller the number is on the iris, the larger it's going to be. And it's kind of when you think about an eye. When you go into a dark room, your pupil is going to open up larger because it needs to let more light in because there's not as much light presence. So when you go outside in the sun, it's going to shrink down low because there's so much light. It doesn't need as much light to be let into the camera. Over here, there's a switch, and it's either for manual or auto iris. So basically, if it's set to auto, when you're shooting, the iris is going to move itself and control to light that's being inputted to where you're shooting at. And if you want it to manual, you just set it yourself. So we can go over here and hit it over to auto, and when I'm shooting, this will adjust itself. And then if I want to put my own personal setting, maybe because the auto's maybe not doing it according to exactly what I want, I can switch it over to manual, and now I am able to move this to anywhere I want. So, and the 790 has a larger range of iris settings, and it goes from 1.6 to 16. And this is better than the other camera, the 250, which I'll be going over next. And also on this camera, there's this nice feature. It's called the zebra, and the switch is right up here. And when you turn this on, it will show you where there'll be like lines to where the 100% light is at, because that's what this camera is set to. So this is great if you're manually setting the iris, and you can control the amount of light according to the picture to make it look the best way possible. All right, now that I've gone over the 790, it's time to go over the 250. But first, I think I'm going to need some sunglasses. Alrighty, now it's time for the 250. Since I've already gone over the basis of the iris, I'll just go over how it works on this camera and how we switch from auto to manual. Okay, on this camera, there's this auto and manual button that is right here. And when I press this button, there will be F right here, and I'll show you that it's going to be a manual f-stop. And then when I hit it again, that is going to disappear. Therefore, now it's in auto again. And while we're in manual, we control the iris through this right here. And we adjust this, and we can adjust the f-stop however we need to for the light setting. Alrighty. And that's how we adjust that for this light setting. And also on this camera, just like on the 790, there is also the zebra feature too, and it's also set to 100% light. You control that zebra right here, on and off. And one more thing, when we're talking about the zebras, when we just see the zebras only appear on the viewfinder. What we're actually recording, those lines are not going to be there on the video. And that is all we need to know about the iris.